Okay, so I'll start. So hi everyone. So I am Abhi, and all my friends: Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and the little moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. I will take your question at the end of the session, not now, later, and Pluto. And what did we see before? We saw what is a meteor, what is a meteorite, how big are they, what happens to them when they enter the Earth's atmosphere, and what are the different types of form they have. So in the last story, so the bus was flying to the sky, and Mars said how it is related to the meteors, and Moon acknowledged yet that it is very smart of Mars to tell all these things because he knows more about the meteors. So as the bus exited the Earth's atmosphere, it started to notice a comet flying by, and Pluto said, "Is that a comet?" For which Sun, being the driver of the bus, said, "Yeah, that is. We are going to follow it slowly to the outer solar system." So why are we following? That is the question that Pluto asked. So that is what we are going to follow today. So why are we following the comet? So that is episode 13. So for that, Sun said, because that's the only way we will go safer around the solar system, because the comet has been following this distance for a very long time. It comes and goes through the solar system, and we can follow it up all the way out of the solar system, and we can reach the Milky Way very safely. Oh, that is super cool. So what are these three things that we know? There are three things in the celestial object which comes and goes into the solar system. That is, one is asteroid, next is comet, next is a meteor. All these three things have entry and exit point across the solar system. And one inventive thing that happened a long time ago, that is around 500 years ago, was Isaac Newton was the first person who thought this has to do with some celestial being. It is coming and it is going. So what happened? Edmund Halley was another astronomer who said, we have to do some calculations and see how this is often coming and going, because there are three things. So asteroid, comet, meteor. So one particular thing that makes it different is comets don't have one tail, they have two tail. So something is happening as it approaches the sun, something unique is happening. So Edmund Halley took to his time and he started noticing one by one. He took to his note and he started writing what all the comets that are coming in particular year at particular time. So what he did, he found that there are three comets that are the same thing. So every few years, that is in 1531, 1607 and 1682, all these periodic comets were coming at a period of at least around 70 or 75 years gap. So he said this has to do with some kind of a phenomenon that is following a already known path. So what he did, he started writing a note. So everywhere he traveled wide, far and wide across the world. He took his ship, went to Africa, went to Asia, went to Europe. Everywhere he went, and he found new evidences of some comet that has come in this direction, particular direction, and it exited. So all these things made us to ask, what is this comet? This was called later as Halley's Comet. So it is a very famous comet. It comes in a period of either 75 to 79 years. So this is expected to come somewhere around the 2061 to 67 or 68 in the next couple of centuries. So this is very common for the Halley's Comet that he named aptly after his own name. So this is now going to happen in the next couple of years. So now what is a comet? Sun is going to answer us one by one. So a comet is a a rock that it is made up of all the gases and it is made up of lot of dust. So where is this coming from? It is coming from far outside of the sun's heat. So sun has not shined on a comet for a very long time. So it has been traveling out of the solar system for some 200-300 years, and for all that travel it has gained lot of cold temperature. So when it is very cold, it develops a lot of water and moisture and it freezes. So what happens then? It is becoming icy and muddy. It is very clay kind of thing, which is like a snowball. So it is going through the space like a snowball all the way across the solar system, and over many periods of time it will come back into the solar system because of sun's gravity. And what happens? It will heat up. So what happens when it heats up? It goes through different stages. So one stage is, it is as a rock, it's a muddy sludgy rock. So but when it comes very close to the sun, so first it starts to evaporate out all the ice, and it creates a very big beautiful streak of light. All that ice will flow away. So when it comes very close, it even gives out all these solid rocks that are there in the comet. So this becomes a very big tail. So this is how it is. So when it is coming very close, it is going very fast towards the sun, and when it is exiting out the other side, so it becomes slow again. So this is how they came to know that comet is something that is filled with a lot of gravitational pull and push. So as it does, it is going to be entering at one speed and exiting at another speed. So when it comes very close, it is falling towards the sun at a very fast speed, and when it is going out, it is going to go very slow. So but you can't see the comet unless it comes very close to the sun. What will happen? Since it is very far away, the ice will not melt and the heat will not be enough for the comet to have its unique tail. So only when it is very close to the sun, we can say differentiate it whether it is a comet or an asteroid. So that's how people have been discovering new comets over many years. So as it goes around, we can see lot of anatomical changes that is happening in a comet. So you can see a lot of clouds that are forming, that is ice clouds that are going out. It is called coma. And you can see that coma doesn't only give only ice clouds, it also gives a lot of radiational particles. All the small cute chunks of rock will fly out, and when they cross with the Earth's orbit, they sometimes become meteor, and that meteor will fall into Earth's atmosphere and it will become meteorite. So after many thousands of years, when we constantly go across a tail of a comet, after it has gone past us, it becomes a meteor and a meteorite in our own atmosphere. So this altogether becomes a dust tail. The dust tail is what we are going to capture it as meteor later. So when these ice and other particles that are easily evaporating that comes out, it becomes very charged. So what is meaning of charge? It means it is very hot, and all that elements that are present in there will get pushed out. So that becomes an ion tail. That is a different kind of tail. So every comet has two tails. So what did they do? First, they tried to find a way to capture a photograph of a comet some 30 years back. So first what they did, they formed a committee, a very big committee, like how we have in Jollibee. So they formed a very big group, and they sent a very big satellite to try to photograph what is there in a comet. They did it first in 1985, expecting that next year or the year after that there is going to be another comet, which is Halley's Comet. So they found in 1986 April month there is going to be a pathway for Halley's Comet, and they sent another satellite called Giotto that is going to pass through that Halley's Comet, and it will take many pictures of Halley's Comet. So with that, they got the first photograph of a shape, how comet is looking like. So what is its shape, how does it look, all the things they started photographing. And next they started even more bigger ideas. So they said another spacecraft to capture a dust from the comet. this is from another comet Temple. So this again got very much interested in knowing what is there inside a comet. And now we know what happened with Deep Impact. So with Deep Impact, they said the Temple 1 comet should be coming back again, and we have to send a small impactor and send it out at a very big burst. So all these things they did. Next, after this, ISON. ISON is a comet which is very common. It comes once in 200 years or so. So they find a reason why is this taking so long, and they took photograph of it in 2013. Next, we know our very own favorite Churyumov-Gerasimenko. They tried to land a lander on the surface of the comet, and they took very many pictures of it. That what you are seeing right now is a comet from the surface. So all that white sparkling dust is all made up of ice and dust, and when it was very close to the sun, it was giving so much of light and dust across the sky. So they took a very big camera, they took a lot of photographs of it. Now, why do we have to study this comet? Because they have been traveling across the sky for very long time. We can say they have been there even before the sun was born. So they are somewhere the reason why we are all there in the universe. So we have to find a comet and we have to study it to know more about the comet's nature. And since they are there in the solar system, we are going to know what is the things that are there when there is a very extremely cold place. Then people started wondering, there has to be some kind of reason why this is happening. So they started finding other kinds of places. They found a different geographical body in the sky called Oort clouds that are very far away, even farther than the Kuiper belt, or even farther than the orbit of Pluto. Then they found that some of the comets are following that orbit, and when they come very close to the sun, they are carrying some forms of life. Some say that it is a microbial life, some say it is an water-based organism. They are not still discovering new elements, but what happens is, beyond the orbit of Pluto, there is a big chunk of comets that are floating there, and every few thousand years or every few hundred years, these comets will come all the way and try falling into the sun's gravity, and when they go out, they go very slow and out into the solar system. So now we are following one particular comet and we are going all the way out into the solar system, following that same route of a comet. So now, as we continue, we came to know that comets are very cool. So we are going to follow one particular cool comet, as said by Pluto. It is true that it is made up of a lot of ice and dust, and following this is the only safe way we can reach the outer solar system. So that's what Sun said, and Pluto got restless. So what time will we reach Milky Way, it asked, for which Sun said, enjoy the view for some time. It is going to take a very long time, but still we are going to reach there very soon. So the comet quickly went ahead and we followed with our bus. So next, what happened? The comet went across the sky, and slowly we tried to follow it. Then suddenly something else came into the scene. It was Saturn. And one of our very good friends had a question. Can we ride our bus on the ring of Saturn? Say it is a very big round track. So can we ride on it? So that is the question for the next episode. Can we ride our bus on the ring of Saturn? Asked by our very good friend, our moon. So that is what we are going to do in the next episode. So what we saw today, we saw what is a comet, what are they made up of, how big are they, and what is the reason why they have a lot of ice, and where do they come from. So we are going to follow our journey to the outer solar system and into the Milky Way by going around this adventure. So that's the story for today. You have any questions, you can ask me now. Yes.
How long to get to Mars?
It takes around 7 to 8 months to reach Mars. 7 months. So we are in the home for the last 7-8 months in lockdown. So it is the amount of time it takes for us to get in a spaceship and go to Mars.
What is the
From
size?
Earth,
What is the size?
from
What is the size? One question. What is the size?
What is the size of a comet when before vaporizing?
So it can lose somewhere between 30 to 40% of its mass. So what happens every time when a comet comes very very close, all the dust and the snow that has accumulated on the surface will evaporate. So somewhere between 30% of its mass can be lost. So if you say comet 67P Chereminov-Gerasimenko, it's around 12 kilometers or 18 kilometers wide. So it will lose somewhere between 3 to 4 kilometers of ice when it is crossing the sun's orbit. Next question.
how big is a comet?
How big is a comet? It can be any size. Some comets are say it is like in the size of a football size. Two, it is some comets are much bigger. Say something like how do you say, size of a country, size of a country, like how big India is. So that big they are.
If we go from Earth to Jupiter, how far is it?
Jupiter takes around 7 years, 7 to 11 years. See, every planet is forming an elliptical orbit. So it is not always one direction. Say if this is Sun and if this is Earth, it is not going in one circular orbit. So sometimes it is little close by, sometimes it is little far. So it is called elliptical orbit. So when we are in the closest approach to Jupiter, it will take 7 years. When we are very far away, it will take around 11 years to reach Jupiter.
What is color of Jupiter?
Jupiter is in multiple colors. So most of it is made up of orange, yellow, brown kind of color. There is a website where they are taking photographs of Jupiter every day. There is a site called Juno Cam. I'll send you the link. You can see a lot of pictures of Juno every day. There is a orbiter called Juno that is going around Jupiter, and it is going to function till May or June of 2021. So until May or June of 2021, there is another 8 months, 10 months down the line. So they are going to take a lot of pictures of Jupiter every day. So you can see new pictures every day.
How much Earths are in Jupiter?
Somewhere around 1000 Earths. Jupiter is very big. You can put 1000 Earths inside and it will not be filled because it's a very gaseous planet. It's a very big gas planet. So normally it will take if you start going around the orbit, so one particular orbit around Jupiter takes around 23 days. So it takes 23 days to go around the entire orbit of Jupiter.
How big Saturn?
Saturn's only the planet is about the size 1.2 times the size of Jupiter. So if you ask the ring of Saturn, there is like you can put Earths on one side and Moon on the other side. It is that far away.
How is the Saturn's ring made of?
I will tell you in the next episode because that is the story. That is the next episode of the story.
How many Plutos can fit inside the Earth?
That's a good question. Okay. See, we can compare it very easily. See, Pluto is little smaller, little bigger than our moon. So if you take moon and if you put it inside Earth, it can take about 3 moons can fill our Earth. So somewhere around 2.7 or 2.8 Plutos can fill inside Earth. Pluto is just little bigger than our moon.
Which planets have rings?
Most of all the 4 outer planets have ring, Only difference is Jupiter's rings are not very bright, because what happens is Jupiter has very big gravity. So all the gravity had made sure that it had formed into either one moon or many moons. So Jupiter is known to have around 60 plus moons. So only the 4 bigger moons that you can see, but apart from that, there is a lot of gravity that is working, and everything is formed into a very big shaped moons. Very small sized moons are there.
Can you ask questions, sir?
He colors in his body. Is there any life for us?
No, one question at a time. Someone asked about color. What color do you want to know?
Why planets need colors in his body?
Okay, good question. Because every planet is made up of some kind of gas. So every gas can only absorb one particular kind of light. So this gas becomes its atmosphere. So what happens? Earth is made up of lots and lots of nitrogen. So nitrogen is a very natural element, and this nitrogen is making sure that all that light is coming in gets many times going around. So all this nitrogen is making the earth look very blue. And also to that, we have also a very easy supply of lot of carbon dioxide and oxygen. But when you compare to other planets, say like Mercury has no atmosphere. So what it looks like sand. So it looks like Mercury has this color. So it's a color of very brown and dark brown shape. And Mars is made up of lot of metals, ferrous metal, that is iron metal. So it is in the color of semman. It is in the color of red. So each planet has its own property for its color.
Why? If there are any life for another planet,
there is still research going on. So they are trying to use some ways to find there is any life. But recently they found a way for identifying life in other planet. But it is not actual life like we have hands and legs, or if it is like a mosquito kind of life. It is something like a microbe. It is a very small, very you can't see microbes. It's like bacteria and virus. So somewhere in the future there might be some research to find other lives in the sky or the other planets. In Venus they recently found there is an evidence of phosphine gas. So phosphine is given by bacteria and microbes when there is reacting to the solar radiation. So there might be some life in Venus. They are going to find it in the next couple of years, possibly in the future.
what is why do some of the outer planets have rings?
We will take one question from one. Next person,
One
I'll
second,
answer.
Tanya. One second, Tanya. Riku, yes.
Why does Saturn? Why does people only live in Earth?
Okay, that's a very good question. Because we are very fortunate, because there is a space called Goldilocks zone. Goldilocks zone is kind of like how do you say? Earth was very fortunate to have right amount of heat from the sun and right amount of time for the Earth to grow. So there was a natural process called carbonation. That is for a very long time we evolved into carbon based animals. So all this reason gave the plants and animals to absorb lot of radiation, and they can make energy and make food. Without plants, without oxygen, without carbon, these kind of lives cannot evolve in planets like Earth. So when we try to look out for the sky and when we try to find other planets with life, we are only looking for planets with human like form. We are looking for someone who looks like us. So everyone wants to look like Shashini, or everyone wants to look like Sana or Aryan, So everyone wants to look like someone who is like humans, but that is not how it is. So when we look deep and deep into the space, there might be some other kinds of life. We are still trying to discover it. Maybe in the next few years they might discover some microbes in the Venus atmosphere. We don't know, maybe.
What is the weight of Ceres?
Ceres, okay. I am not very sure, but Ceres is a dwarf planet. So Ceres and other bodies have proportionately less mass. So they are sometimes weighed only by their force of gravity. So I'm not very sure, but I'll check and I'll let you know.
Which is the hottest planet? What is useful?
Hottest planet, okay. Hottest planet goes to Venus again, because Venus is having very bad atmosphere. What happens, it is filled with lots and lots of sulfur gas, and this sulfur gas, when it reacts with the sunlight, it creates sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid is very, very hot. So what happens, it will have that runaway effect of heating everything, and it is having even more deposition of carbon dioxide. So Venus's atmosphere is filled with sulfur, carbon dioxide, all the poisonous things. So all the heat that comes in through the sun will have extra additional chemical reaction, and it creates very, very hot climate in the Venus. So that's why when you look out in the sky, the first star to appear in the sky, that means the first bright object to appear in the sky, is Venus. Venus is called the brightest light in the sky, next to our moon.
Why can we breathe only oxygen?
That is okay. That's a science-based question. Because our human body has evolved into an opportunistic environment. See, plants breathe in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So for some many millions of years, all the other animals in the world had used the benefit of other creatures. So the first animals that evolved in the world were from the water. So from water, when they came out and they started walking in the land, they had only one particular variant of food. So that is consuming all the plants and planktons that were there on the surface. So that evolved us into creating a new kind of animals, and humans evolved into a habit of taking. But there are also other kind of creatures in the world, those that consume sulfur. So when you're deep in the sea, there is a place called Marianas Trench that is there in the Pacific Ocean. That's around 11 kilometers deep. If you put Mount Everest on it, there will be some 3-4 kilometers gap in that water. So some 11-kilometer deep trench is there. On the deepest point, there is no oxygen. So there is no oxygen, there is no carbon, there is no sunlight, no nothing. It is very, very dark. In that place, there are sulfur enacting animals. So those animals which take in sulfur and they produce light. So when you bring that animal to the top, it will it will die. Have you seen Finding Dory? Finding Dory, there is a cartoon called Finding Dory, Finding
Yes.
Nemo. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in that there will be a fish with that light in the front. So it will show the light and it will try to attract that closer to it. That's called as a blobfish. That blobfish lives very deep in that waters, and only it can produce sulfur, phosphine, and all this self-light emitting source of energy.
Why do how many galaxies are there? Used for the sum of the planets out of
One at a time. I am hearing too many questions. One at a time. Now, Shilpa ma'am, you moderate it. Whoever you wants to answer.
Okay, everyone stop.
One question.
Enough. See,
One question at a time.
Appa. Okay, see, wait. So I'm going to give turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 questions. After this 5 questions, we are going to wind up. Okay, I'll start with Aryan. What do you have questions, dear?
Ma'am, why do we have to wear oxygen mask to go to?
One. Aryan, you have any question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
What
please
question?
ask.
Why does Saturn have rings?
I told you, I will tell you in the next episode. So I have prepared enough materials for that Saturn story, and I can give you a teaser. Saturn is something very related to comets. Saturn's rings are related to comets, so we are going to see a lot of similarities between Saturn and comets.
Which gas is most in Neptune?
Yes, Lakshya. I'll go to Lakshya now.
Why do we have to wear oxygen mask to go to our solar system?
Okay. See, there is a thing called void. The outside of our atmosphere, when we go into the void, there is no breathable air, there is no temperature, there is no pressure, no nothing. So it is completely filled with void. We humans cannot live in void. What happens? It is like putting us in a cage, and we are trying to push the cage very closer and closer. So there is so much of things that are acting around. So this creates us, our lungs cannot take that force. So what happens? We will stop breathing if we don't take in enough oxygen. And oxygen is directly related to our brain, because every 3 seconds we need fresh supply of oxygen for us to open our eyes and see things. Without oxygen we will die. If you hold our breath for something like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you will start to feel your face turning very red because of loss of oxygen.
Okay, now I'll move to Samyukta. Yes, Samyukta.
Which gas is most in Neptune?
Neptune, again, it is see, all our 4 outer planets have tendency of making its own hydrogen and helium, but there are traces of other gases like sulfur, phosphine, and metallic iron, metallic carbon. All these things are present, so that it creates a natural hue of all the colors. So Neptune is in the shade of blue. So what happens? It has a tendency to give out lot of nitrogen based gases. So nitrogen's composition is little higher on the outer atmosphere of Pluto, so that light doesn't go deep into it and give out the color. So every planet you see, whichever planet you have, has that tendency of using the color of the element to give out the light.
Yes, thank you, Abhi. And Arshita, final question. Yes.
How many galaxies are there?
Kanama, if you start counting today, it will take you at least how can I say you? Can you tell me one simple answer? How many rice grains are there when you start eating your food? If you start counting, can you count the number of rice grains?
Uncountable.
I can't. That's the same way. So when you start looking at the sky, each sky is filled with light from very, 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 very far away galaxy and stars. So what happens? The light that you are seeing right now is the light that came from that particular galaxy or particular star when dinosaurs were going around. So we don't know exactly how many galaxies and how many stars are there in the entire universe, unless until we also go into the age of a dinosaur. So we have to wait another 250 million years to know the entire count of the galaxy. That's why when all the light will be on the same wavelength.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Tanishri, what's your question? So that's the final question. We are going to wind up. Okay. Yeah.
Ma'am, what is useful if some of the outer planets have rings?
What is the purpose?
What is useful if some of the planets have rings?
What is useful? You are asking
Wings.
Rings. She's asking about rings.
Rings or wings?
Rings.
Rings, okay.
What is the purpose? Purpose? See, I don't know what is the purpose for it to have rings. Okay, I can tell you one clue, because I don't want it to spoil the story of why Saturn is going. Why can't we ride our bus on the Saturn? See, the rings of Saturn had to have formed very, very long time ago, because it is only feature that you can see that is bright right now because of some I'm unable to have that surprise element. Okay, it is something to do with light and lot of particles. Some unique particles are there that are there in the rings, and this gives the planets which have lot of rings the light from the dark side. Okay, I'll ask you one question. What do you see the brightest when you are in the night? When you are in night, what do you see the brightest in the sky?
Stars.
No,
Moon.
not you. She has to answer. What did you say?
Moon.
Why is the moon so bright in the sky? No, let her answer. It can be any answer. It can be any answer. Why is the moon light? Why is moon having its own light source? It is reflecting anything?
Yes.
What is it reflecting? What is the light it is reflecting? Which is the source of light for our solar system? Which is the
But
bright?
I don't understand the question.
Simple. What is when you see outside? What is the light that you are seeing? You see, you have a window next to you. There is a window.
Yes.
Okay. What is the light that you are seeing now? What's the light that is coming out in the window?
Sun's light.
Sun's light. So what happens in the night? So where are we when the sun is down? When the sun goes down, what happens?
Moon will come up.
Okay. So moon and sun are, where are they? They are in the straight line or in opposite sides.
Opposite sides.
So what happens is, it is like you going and looking in the mirror. So mirror is there, you are there, and when you are looking at the mirror, you are seeing your own reflection. So on the surface of the moon, there is a very bright light that is coming. So like that, Saturn has a feature in its rings that is reflecting the light. So that's why it is the purpose for bright Saturn's rings.
Okay, thank you, Abhi.
Okay.
Thanks for your
I think
patience.
she's
and
still
listening.
confused about light concept. Okay, I'll try to explain it much better in the next session.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, children, today is the last day of holiday camp. Okay, so tomorrow we are planning for the culmination program. Okay, we'll call your parents and we'll update on that. Okay, yeah, thank you, children. Yeah, bye. Thank you, Abhi.
Bye.